Hold the f*** up. Rewind the tape.
I will never get used to that recording in progress. Guys, welcome to our penultimate episode before Christmas.
Oh, I don't know. No,
I think
no, we've got one more and then it's Christmas.
Is it next week, not Christmas?
No.
I think it is. Anyway, guys, sorry, this is the logistics chat. You don't need to hear it. Welcome to an episode of Wait, Rewind the Tape being recorded in December.
Oh my God, next week is Christmas.
Exactly, yeah.
Oh my.
We're closing out the year.
Oh my
I bet
gosh.
you can't
Okay.
wait to hear our review of 2022.
Oh, I was thinking we should skip that one. Skip a bad year.
But nevertheless, this year, sorry, let me rephrase. Today, we are going to talk about our favourite TV shows. And by favourite, we mean the ones that have stuck in our mind because we watched them most recently. Somebody will probably tell me about a show that I forgot to mention that I could not stop talking about when I watched it earlier in the year. That's not my fault. I have a short-term memory now, okay?
Is it fair to say, well, it wasn't that good if you can't remember it, or is that just not fair?
That's not fair because remember when we were doing this list, it took me about 10 minutes before I remembered Bridgerton.
Which feels like years ago.
So that's the thing. It feels
now.
like it was more than a year ago, not just like 9 months ago. Exactly. Yeah. We're different people. Life has happened.
Oh my God, it's been relentless this year. We'll get into that in the 2020-22 review. 2020-22. What?
2020-22.
No, 2020-22. Like the earth is going to last till 2020-22. Don't freak out, guys, because I am.
Yeah. Climate crisis is real. So before we get into the shows that we watched,
I'm sorry, I'm just laughing because I know there's some people like making a mental note to not listen to the review of the year because they're like, well, if this is the vibe, count me out.
I mean, I suppose have been quite a lot of really, really scary natural. Well, can we even call them natural disasters when we've literally made them?
I don't know the vibes, so yeah.
Anyway. We'll decide on that in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Before we get into our the shows that we liked or the shows that we watched, we'll do a quick round robin of how was your week. We need a catchier title.
My week was fine. It was pretty uneventful. Didn't really do much. And the things I did, we'll talk about in the review of 2022. How was your week?
Cool. I had a jam-packed weekend. My mum was in town for the annual birthday celebrations that we do. So we watched a lot of theatre, went to see the ballet. Amazing.
Oh. What was
on? Matthew Bourne's Sleeping Beauty. And it was sublime.
Lush. Love that for you.
Absolutely divine. I loved it. And then on Sunday, we went to see a show called The Doctor, which was, they really deal with a lot of all everything, you know, sexism, racism, abortion, suicide. I mean, they went in hard. But it was like fantastic, super well acted, very thought provoking.
Where was that?
At the Duke of York Theatre.
Okay. Me no.
Yeah, theatre in London. It was great, but then we got super drunk on Sunday. This is me, my mum, and my sister mind. Or maybe it was just me that was super drunk. It's snowing outside, guys. We had a lot of snow in London, which is uncharacteristic. This rarely ever happens. And it was snow that was sticking. We were taking selfies, videos in the snow in Covent Garden. I mean, we must have looked deranged. Although I think everybody was doing it, so actually...
Hello, this is England.
I think it was fine. But the upshot of that was obviously yesterday was incredibly painful, and now today I think I caught a chill. So
Yeah, there's a lot of bugs going around, guys. Be safe out there.
But it was a good week. And yeah, what else? I don't think there's anything to update you guys on Hinge. It's,
It's Hinge.
I'm still forever. We did discuss last week how one-word greetings are just. My position on that has remains unchanged. Please don't just send me a hey. God forbid a hey gorgeous or a hey beautiful.
Oh, I love being called beautiful. When
it's preceded with something else.
Yeah.
Anyway, and yeah, so there we have it. Now let's get into.
I'm so excited for this episode. Honestly, I love
TV.
talking about TV.
I do see. Actually, no, sorry. There is one thing that I wanted to get your kind of general consensus on with respect to profiles. So I see quite a lot of people. Men, being like really explicit in having to call out like, don't date me if you don't eat meat, if you don't eat red meat. Did we talk about this last week?
No.
Okay. And like for me, that signals a very, like, if you really have to call it out, it gives me like, I'm an alpha male kind of toxic masculinity vibes.
Yeah, there's no,
because I'm not sure why you need to be so aggressive about it. And I wonder if that's something that like any women ever feel the need to really call out as something like, I eat meat, I eat red meat.
Women are, obviously I've seen women's profiles. Yeah. They do.
Okay.
But yeah, men are a lot more. The men that I've seen have been like, the profile will be very negative, full of what they don't want. And some of it is very problematic. And it just comes from this like superiority complex type place. I don't mind like a no Tories. I always think that's funny. But like, if you're like, nobody birthed in the womb of Escobar after 1977. I'm sure we talks about people who have the age thing. It's like, no, I'm not sure if we talked about on this podcast, so it was like no one over the age of like 32 and they're like 35.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Oh, yeah. I haven't seen much of that. Admittedly, I don't really go on there that much. So,
admittedly, I hate the platform and refuse to be there.
It's deleted, admittedly. No, I do have the anxiety of on Monday where I was like, oh God, the notifications are blowing up. What did I say to people when I was drunk? It's always something really like
cute and childish.
Yeah. Yeah.
Always is.
Do you watch Lord of the Rings too?
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, that's my update there. I think maybe I'll try and do an update a week, just she says, knowing there are only 2 episodes before the end of this season, to hold myself accountable.
Honey, save it for the year roundup because I am not in the mood for that shit. Nobody's holding themselves accountable today, okay?
Okay, fine. Only accountable to the hours and hours and hours we have devoted to watching TV. So,
and film, I should also say, because I've got some films.
What? I haven't included films, although I watch a lot more TV shows than I do films. I can commit to, as we all know, a good long, if it doesn't have at least 3 seasons, I don't want to start it. But a film, no.
I've gotten into films again recently, very recently.
Good for you.
I like them. I like them. I do.
That's my review. Maybe it was Lord of the Rings that did it.
Oh, fucking hell, if you can sit through that, you can sit through it. I think I've just watched so much that and then I watched like a few good shows and it just made me just want to get into a few good films.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
just something a bit different. Like everything is the same, and you just want something a bit different. And for that, sometimes you have to watch a random film you've never heard of. But nothing too off the beaten track. I do have a goal for next year though.
Yeah.
There's I have a list of anime and a director whose name I can't remember. I'm so sorry, guys. But they are, every time I've looked, you can only really get DVDs. I'm going on eBay. They're not expensive. I'm getting all the DVDs of the anime films I can't get. And that one director I'm getting his discography. What do you call that in films? Filmography. I only know about music and I barely know anything about it. And I am going to watch them because I'm just like, that could be like a great, spending £3 on a DVD could be a great way for me to get something I actually want and fulfill that need. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
the nostalgia as well.
Yeah.
And no one's really, apart from the wherever you get it from, but no one's tracking what you're watching, where you're pausing, where you're having to rewatch an episode because you fell asleep 5 times.
Yeah. That's your goddamn business.
Okay, what are some like your favorite, or if not favorite, but the notable shows?
Okay, so my best of 2022 is, and I'm surprised at my number one pick. It's not in order, but I will say this show has recently I've become one of those annoying people, but it's Rick and Morty. I'm sorry. I love that show.
You told me
much.
that before the air and I'd forgotten. And
you're just as disappointed again.
Yes.
I cannot believe how much I love that show. It's so comforting. It really
How many
is.
seasons are there now?
We're on the 6th.
Okay.
I'd love it if I was wrong. So I don't know, guys. I don't like anything
We're on
that
the
much.
6th.
We're actually on season 4, guys.
Why? Break it down. Give me the elevator pitch. I'll time you.
I'm not. First of all, I've never pitched and I never will. I'm sorry, guys. I do not pitch. I don't.
No, me neither.
I hate pitching. I'll just talk and you take what you need from it. I'm in control. No, basically, I like the show because it deals with concepts of like time in an abstract way.
Okay.
That's literally it. And it makes me feel less existential. Also, I like the randomness of it. Like, you never know where they're going to go, what they're going to do. Like, it doesn't have to be some like formalized
linear plot line or like generalized series line.
They always bring things back in. They have recurring characters, but the plot of the individual episode has nothing to do with anything. It's just random.
Yeah. It's like a Simpsons, but more random. Or like
No, because the thing about Rick and Morty is because it's like they're space travelers, they're time travelers, they travel to other dimensions. So it just leaves space for more to happen. And it doesn't rely on offensive humor. It's like, it just doesn't.
I found it so offensive. Granted, I watched very, very little of it, but I must have watched the one thing that's
there was only 2 episodes where I felt like, okay, in the beginning, like the way that and it was noticeable the first time I watched it, the way that some Black characters are introduced, it's just like, okay, I didn't love it.
I didn't even get that as far as that.
What? I think it's okay. Maybe
it's the grandpa. I find it.
There's
Rick. Something about him
much.
that I just found so gross and uncomfortable. Like when he's just vomiting on himself and.
Okay, at first he's literally just like a burping crazy genius, but then his character is developed and he has such a darkness to him, which he masks in alcoholism. And I just
yeah.
really resonates.
Relatable. Okay, well, it maybe I need to dip back into it.
I like shows like that because, and I'm not just talking about that. I'm talking about any like sort of semi-comedy sci-fi which deals with like disappointment. That's kind of like the theme of what I like in my list. It's like the human aspect And the very real characters that no matter how like grand or great they are, they're all just like plagued with like this basicness of being human. Do you know what I mean? And it's just it's real, and it deals with things that I would like to explore like introspectively while watching something. It gives you a chance to kind of like process some shit while watching something that has nothing to do with it, that can be light. And that's really what I'm looking for right now on TV, and I feel like my list reflects that. So I'm going to stop talking and just give you the list.
Okay.
A show, again, I'm doing what you just said we're going to do, because I literally just watched the show. The Bear.
Oh, I haven't watched it, but
some good stuff.
Okay.
This isn't in any list order, and I have to say, Rap Shit, Issa Rae's new show, Rap Shit, is for me it's just a perfect show. It's so funny. I need to watch it. I love it. I don't think you'll like it as much as I like it. Because I just don't think you will.
What did you say before? Wait, what? Okay, no.
I said the bear.
The bear. Yeah, that's about
a chef.
A chef, yeah.
I'm not going to spoil anything, but it does. I will give you the premise. A chef whose brother dies by suicide, and he inherits his restaurant, and it's just them telling their story. But he's like a Michelin star chef, and then he's coming back to take over his family business, and it's like he incorporates like his knowledge and his way of doing things into this place that's very resistant to change. But it ends up bringing out the best of all of them,
tried and true formula, and
the worst of him.
Oh no,
because he's internal. I like it because it deals with the toxicity of the working place. Like, as a chef, where he was working in the best of the best of the best restaurant in the world, but he was being talked to and treated like, when you see it, you're like, what the fuck, in the most disgusting way. And I feel like we can all kind of relate to this idea of having this dream, chasing it, wanting to work in this industry that's so glamorized in some ways, getting there and realizing everyone who is high up is an insane person, and just dealing with the fallout of that, and like it literally gives you like mental health problems.
But also at the same time, that added layer of, until you snap yourself out of it, kind of having to feel grateful, putting up with so much shit because you're like, well, I'm grateful to be at like here, like at this table, even though you're not. I'm grateful to be having this opportunity, when really it's a shitty opportunity and you're being exploited.
But skills wise, there are certain things you can only learn in certain places, because the way capitalism works, it's that it's just institutionalism, isn't it? Like, things are kept in the middle of a maze, and it's like you have to go through how to get to the middle of the maze. And even though what's in the middle of the maze isn't great, there are things you learn along the way to the middle that if you can survive it and get out, you can maybe do something beautiful with. And also, not just that, it's just elitism. So other people will only respect certain institutions. So it's like you have to get these names that you may not care about, but it kind of deals with that. Do you need the name? Building something of your own. When you're building something of your own, are you going to end up replicating that without even meaning to? Even though you leave these environments and say, this is what I want, what are you replicating? How fucked up are you because of it? Are you just building this? Because I feel like a lot of people do this. You know, you critique capitalism, you critique industries, you critique institutions, then you have your own thing and you end up replicating a lot of the bullshit because it's in you now. Sorry, guys, didn't mean to go off on a tangent. I promise I'll stop. My next, obviously, Rap Shit is just the one. It's about two women who are trying to make it in rap music. But I love it because I feel like, well, there's two protagonists, if that's possible, because I don't know anything. But one is a woman who is like a kind of like, she's supposed to represent like the serious rapper, like, I'm a real rapper, like I'm a real hip hop artist, spoken word. I only talk about real shit. And it kind of makes a joke about like some of, and we talked about this before, some of the content that comes from that is somewhat ridiculous. And it's like, yeah, do you know what I mean? And it's like, how are you really changing them? Then she meets Mia, who she went to school with, and who is she's a sex worker. And I feel like I can't remember what else she does, but she's a mother also. And it's like, she's like a good time, like a fun person, but she's just frustrated with where she is in her life. And so you can relate to these characters because she's reached a wall where it's just like, I want more, but she doesn't know how to go about it or how to take control of her life. And then it's just like dealing with these, especially for women, dealing with the like archetype that you're put into, like you're a bad bitch, you've got to live up to this, this, and this. Oh, you're a serious, respected woman, you have to do this, this, and this. And how limiting that is, and how freeing it is when these women actually ignore those archetypes, which you may not even realize it are put on you, and just live freely and, you know, do your own thing with another woman and have fun. But it's also about selling out in the music industry, having to do things you don't want to do, like the whole idea of making. But with Issa Rae, what she's going to give you is a good fucking
dialogue
character.
A
character that makes sense from A to Z. A character that when you're finished, you know them very well. Like a character who, no matter what they do, it never seems out of character because she writes her characters well. And these characters are really interesting. I really like the two or three like sub characters. I don't know what they're called. They're really interesting, and I would recommend it because it's fucking hilarious. And then my favorite show in the entire world came to an end this year. I did
not Rick and Morty.
It. My favorite show in the entire world is Atlanta at the moment. You know, it changes, but Atlanta is a one-of-a-kind show. It just is one of a kind. I love that show so much. They did an episode on the Goofy movie. That show was made for me. I love the show. I love that it can act. The thing is, a lot of shows we have debates on, and like, but Atlanta is a good enough show that you can actually have an intellectual debate about it. Like, it makes you realize, like, not every show you can. Like, some shows you're like, this is dumb, this is dumb, this is dumb. But Atlanta, you can genuinely have a layered conversation about. Like, I like it. I love the show. Yeah, great show. Sad to see it go.
Did it go because, was it cancelled, or was it because that was the intention was always
never been cancelled? It's Donald Glover, so
he called time on it.
Yeah, I feel like there are certain writers who do their thing and they do it like, this is exactly what I want to do. I feel like
he had it in his head from the out. Like,
Michaela Cole does that. I feel like Issa Rae does that. And I'm sorry, I don't know her name. I feel like her name is Phoebe, the woman who wrote Fleabag.
Phoebe Waller-Bridger.
Yeah, I feel like she does that as well. It's like, this is my, it's like
I'm not going to like keep
artist.
going series just as a cash cow. This is the story. It has a start, it has an end, and I know what they are. Yeah. And
this is like what I'm feeling right now. So this is what I can give my all to. And I just think that shows like that I love them.
There's a real integrity to them, even though you're also like, we need more. But then also you're like, but this was kind of, I guess, like the perfect way to end it.
And I will watch it for the rest of my life anyway. So thanks. And then I've got to say, can't believe it, but Gomorrah, that show is.
You talked about it every week.
I'm embarrassed about how much I like Gomorrah. And then
by all accounts, it's a fantastic show. So I don't think you're alone here.
Yeah, but
the kind of people that are telling me this, it's also like not very different. Yeah.
Have you seen Gomorrah? It's what I feel like. So good. Love it again. Just really interesting, like hateable, lovable characters. Like, you hate them. It's crazy. You hate these people. I liked it a lot. And then I've just got some, and then I have to say Attack on Titan, because it feels like I watched that show last year, but it's just a great show. It's going to finally end next year, apparently.
Okay.
It's the final season, part 3 next year. So let's see how we go. Yeah, but it's a great show, great anime, even though it's about war. And the best film, one of the best films I've ever seen in my life, might be, it came out, and it was Everything Everywhere All at Once. And the thing is,
on my list.
my brother told me to watch it when he came out to cinema. That film, the thing is, I know that you could, I already know it's not like that film is like, they're not dealing with like, it's not the concepts of the universes that makes it interesting. Do you know what I mean? Because I feel like some films, like maybe even like the Matrix or a film like that, where there's a film every once in a while where it just, you get a good crossover of like a blockbuster and a like a concept that has depth.
Yeah.
But for me, it wasn't the concept, it was how it made me feel. It was so light as well. I just loved it so much. I thought it was brilliant. It made, I said to Sim, that film genuinely cured my depression for at least 24 hours. I had no symptoms of mental illness for 24 hours after watching that film. That film is good.
Okay, yeah. Then I have a lot of time coming up, so I'll give it a go.
I can send you a list. And then honorable mentions. I didn't want to like it, but Tokyo Vice is very good. Didn't want to like it.
Yeah, I haven't started watching it because, and this is dumb because I'm sure that I watch lots of things with people that do questionable things. But I feel like, no, maybe I'm speaking out of turn.
I was, do you know why I didn't want to watch it? Because I was just like, this is so, of course, Americans would make a series based in Japan that centers around a white man and features the Yakuza. I was like, of course, that's where the budget goes. But it is very good. It is.
Hold on.
Didn't want to like it.
I feel like the lead actor, Ansel Elgort, had something not great. Oh yeah. Sexual assault allegations.
When?
It is in the summer. Oh no, sorry, earlier this year.
Where do you know him from? I have never seen that white man in my life.
God, what was he in? I think he was in The Goldfinch, which is an adaptation of one of my of a book that I love. Yeah. And I think he was also in like The Fault in Our Stars, also a book adaptation from many, many years ago. Yeah. So he's just somebody I know because I've seen him in movies. But then, this. And is he not in A West Side Story?
It's a new one.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that.
No, me neither.
I barely remember the original.
Anyway, that's the reason why I've kind of not started watching it. And also because I'm sure I can find plenty of other things to watch that don't center
around this person. No, you can't. Don't lie. That's television. That's
true. Yeah. True. But it's on BBC and it's there, so it's obviously I'm gonna end up, when I feel like I've run out of things and I forgot that I'm paying for fucking Apple TV and I could be watching any number of things.
Not him, I don't know his name, but the second lead, I guess, that's a man. There's like a woman, I feel like there's a journalist, two journalists, apart from the white man, an American, a white European American, as I've decided to start calling the woman, and then sorry, I don't know anybody's names, you know me, a younger man who is like part of the gang. He is one of the best. I'm sorry to objectify, but I'm just being honest. He's one of the best looking people I have ever laid my eyes on. My cousin was talking all this crap and I was like, oh, can you not just watch the show? Come in the room and I'm like, jaw to the floor. I was like, I take it back. I understand.
Yeah.
He is, it should be illegal to look that good. Also, another honourable mention, a show, I'll wheel it off. Oh, these aren't honourable mentions. I'm sorry. Savage Beauty, South African show, amazing. Wendell and Wild animation, black animation, amazing. The Responder, you guys know I like that. That is an honourable mention. But Snowfall, I feel like this season of Snowfall, I don't think Snowfall gets its dues. I know that people preferred it in the beginning, but I still think there's a Snowfall episode, I'm going to spoil it, where they end up taking acid. It is one of the best episodes of television, period, ever. Standalone. Phenomenal performances. Amazing. Drug dealers on acid. Come on.
It's the content we want.
It is so... Oh, I'll send you one scene. Do you know what? The fact that... why have I forgotten his name? I want to call him Franklin. His name is not Franklin. He's an English actor and he is another divine looking human being. Damson Idris. The fact that he's never been I don't think he's ever been nominated for an Emmy for that role is a fucking crying shame. Anyway, that's just my opinion. But yeah. Obviously, now I'm really on the honourable mentions because there's been so much good TV. Stranger Things.
Yeah.
Dangerous Liaisons does not deserve to be on this list.
Not at all, but it's good fun.
I love it. I love that show.
Fun. Yeah.
And of course, Bridgerton. And then there's 3 shows that didn't come out this year, which I just watched this year. Master of None season 2, which I thought was very underrated. It's not like the other season.
In Italy?
Sorry, season 3, is it? Yeah, in Italy.
Yeah,
it's a serious drama. It's so
amazing.
Good.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
So good. Midsommar, the film. Didn't want to like it. Really enjoyed it. And it's not what I thought it was about at all. It's actually about how susceptible the audience is to white supremacy, and didn't realise apparently I'm susceptible. And Fleabag as well. I finally watched Fleabag and it's a masterpiece.
It is.
Hate to say it, it's a masterpiece.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then obviously Nollywood, shout out to Nollywood, Blood Sisters, but we'll get into that later because Blood Sisters is very, very, very good. But I have a problem with it. The ending pissed me off, but it's coming back from a new season. Natalie, tell me, how can you end the show like that? They ended the show like without saying that it was a limited series or like series. They ended it like it was just going to be those episodes on a cliffhanger. I
need to know if something is going to be a limited series so that I know what level of commitment I need to have in not in the show, not that I won't like commit to it, but just so that I need to know how to feel once the final episode is done. Because that's it. You're not getting anything.
I thought that was it. And it ended on a cliffhanger. I was like, see, you've managed to like do so many things well, and then you come with this shit at the end. I think I was actually shouting. I was so angry. And so everyone was saying it was good. I was like, I need a refund. I didn't. It was on Netflix. So I didn't pay for it. Well, yeah. And then also absolute trash to some, but as in some Nollywood fans. But Glamour Girls, I hate to mention Blood Sisters and Glamour Girls in the same vein. Some of you will be like, they are not on the same level. Let me tell you, Glamour Girls.
Some of you will be like, Ruth, listen, listeners, if any of you know these shows.
Shout out to my Nollywood fans. Glamour Girls was funny. It's about like a woman who like runs like a high-end brothel agency.
I mean, this sounds like it's right up my street.
It's so camp, honestly. And she hires a rough around the edges girl who is just desperate to make it. And then there's a woman who she'll never forgive because she did the one thing she should never do, fall in love and leave the game. Oh, yeah.
She was my best earner.
She was.
Of course she was.
Natalie,
I lost a lot of regulars after she left.
It's both the best and worst thing I've ever seen in my life.
Sounds exactly like it. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm done. Yeah.
Okay. I don't know if my list is going to be as exhaustive. Well, I'm not going to go through every single one in my list because
obviously P-Valley season 2, forgot.
Oh yeah.
Obviously, yeah.
Okay, so in terms of animations, I think this was this year. I'm pretty sure it was at the beginning of the year. I am so
sorry. I did not mean to reel off every single. I've just realised what I've done. I've ruined the whole structure. Guys, we had a whole
know
meeting
what?
about the structure, and then
I didn't want to stop you. I just thought, let her go.
No, please stop me next time. Oh my, I'm not going to be able to listen to this. I'm going to be like, I talked for the whole.
But have you got? If we still go by category, are there other things that you can mention? Yeah. So you've gone your faves. So, my top ones in anime, not anime, but in animation.
Yeah.
Yes. I watched and loved She-Ra.
I haven't seen it.
It is. I thought it was fantastic. Just visually, it's gorgeous. Love the colors and everything. It's like it's a very female-centric cast. They deal with a lot of issues around friendship and love, and not just heteronormative love as well. Family dynamics.
I'm in.
Kids being the ones to have to save the world because where are the parents?
Where were the parents?
Cyborgs, clones, it's space, other planets.
Oh, I love
mystic. It's just wonderful. I really, really liked it. And there's obviously there's She-Ra, like the main protagonist, but then her antagonist, is that what you would call it? Her opposing person is actually, they were once friends, and so the enemy feels, I guess it's just everything she does, she's acting out of like what she perceives to be a betrayal and pain, and actually she is in love with She-Ra, and that kind of arc develops over the course of like 5 different seasons, but it's just really it's really lovely. So I would highly recommend it. And I'm pretty sure there are very few male characters, but one of the main male character, the main friend of She-Ra, I think is voiced by Junior from Blackish. Which I just find hilarious.
I bet it is, because that voice is actually weirdly very
distinctive. Yeah, you know it. And I think it to the point where when I've watched it, I did have to look it up. Because
is that fucking Junior?
Yeah, to confirm my suspicions.
Junior, what are you doing here?
In animation, I also I really enjoyed Human Resources, and of course Big Mouth season 6. Yeah,
okay, I can't get into Big Mouth only because there's nothing wrong with vulgarity. You guys know I love it. It turns out I'm secretly approved, and I'm like, oh my god. Yeah.
Not me being like, I can't watch Rick and Morty because it just makes me feel weird. And I will happily sit through hours of Big Mouth and Human Resources.
Yeah.
But I don't know why. I just find them very funny.
Okay. Oh, is that all your animation?
Yeah.
I feel like I should chime in with one more animation as well. Intergalactic? Or is it Entergalactic? I don't know. It's Kid Cudi's animation that he did for Netflix. I have a criticism, which I'm not sure if I made before, which is I do feel, but it's visually stunning. The soundtrack is amazing, and it's a heartwarming love story. And honestly, just visually, I just found it, and in terms of the music as well, I just found it really like not on this. I'm not going to say obviously not on the same level, but it's like similar to the how I felt about the Spider-Verse. It's just like kind of like an all senses experience. But my only criticism, and the reason I wouldn't say it's like, if it wasn't for this, it would have been for me like, and maybe I was just triggered by it. I just felt like the way the women were written was too binary.
Yeah,
like there was 2 distinct types of women. There's the woman who's like the earthly woman who is just not necessarily vain, like into her art. She's an artist. And then there's the woman who's like the corporate, sexy, kind of overtly traditionally attractive woman. And like, I just hate that, because that's not real. Like, women are very complex, and I don't like the idea of like, I just don't like that. It was too obvious and too, I just didn't like that at all.
Yeah. Fair. Okay, moving on to the drama category. It should it will probably, well, won't come as any surprise to you, Ruth, and for the rest of you, it shouldn't really come as any surprise. But this might also be my favorite show of the year. White Lotus.
Yeah.
Incredible. So fucking good. I didn't watch season 1 when it came out last year. So, like, it was, you know, always one of those things where it was on my list. A lot of buzz. Yeah. And so it was kind of on my list, but also not, because it got so much buzz. And then eventually this year I was like, okay, let's just give it a go, because I, you know, was at a point where, you know, you've watched everything. You don't have anything new coming out in the week, and you can't think of what to watch. So I landed on watching it, and I'm so glad I did. It was not at all what I was expecting. I don't know what I was expecting. I had no idea what the synopsis was. I actually thought it was just about like a rich family who like a rich drug family, which it's not. It is about rich people.
That's not what I thought it was about. So I'm like, wait, what? Is that what it's about?
No, it isn't. I didn't realise it was like about a hotel.
Okay, that makes sense.
The White Lotus, yeah. And so the first one is set in the White Lotus in Hawaii, I think in Maui, and then the second one is set in Sicily. So there's not really, they operate independent to each other, apart from Jennifer Coolidge's character, who crosses over into season 2.
I'm glad it's her. I really like her.
Oh my God, she's fantastic. Also, just have to give a shout out to The Watcher, because she's in it. And
okay. I haven't watched that, but that's something that's on my list to watch next.
Spooky, yeah, but good.
Oh God,
I enjoyed it. And the music, the theme tune in The White Lotus is incredible. Just everything is so on the surface gorgeous and glossy, but there are so many cracks. There's so much shit going on under the surface, behind closed doors, that obviously kind of bubbles over, and you get glimpses of these things and how characters are just falling apart, which again is very relatable, even if you can't necessarily relate to individual situations or individual like bank balances. It's phenomenal. So definitely watch it, and I can't wait to talk about it when you do.
Yeah, I think we'll have to cover that one next year.
Yeah, if they do, for season 3, maybe we could do that. What else? I think for me, an honorable mention in this category, but it might also be considered well, I don't think it's comedy. I really enjoyed watching Dead to Me this year.
Which one was that?
So that's with Christina Applegate, and Linda Cardellini.
Okay. I haven't seen it. It looks all right, though. I like the premise, but I have never seen it.
It is good.
Tell me more.
So, again, one of those shows where actually when it came out and Netflix were like shoving it down my throat, I was like, I'm not going to do it.
If you want me to watch it, I swear to God, I will turn this television off.
No. Well, it just sounded weird, but it was not what happened, and how the story played out, again, wasn't what I was expecting. It is a story about friendship, like the best friendship that you could ever have, but that started out on a lie and a betrayal. And then when that is uncovered, it's again about how these two women get past that, and they can still have this really solid friendship. But, you know, there's also like things thrown in, like people dying that they have to like get around. You know, it's a classic snowball effect thing, you know, where something happens and you try and do something to make it better, but then that makes it worse. And then you have to keep covering tracks, and like a Good Girls kind of situation.
Yeah, but those shows sometimes give me anxiety. I'm going to love this one.
Yeah. And James Marsden is in it, and I love him. I think he's super attractive. You do. He's the prince in
I've never heard of him.
He's in 27 Dresses. Don't know why that comes to mind. And he's also the prince
That's a
in
great film,
Enchanted.
But I don't remember the man. Enchanted.
The prince.
Oh, he's so funny.
Exactly. He's like, I just think he's a very funny, charismatic, attractive, like classic character. Do you think he's so attractive?
To you, James Marsden is what's that guy called? He was in How to Lose a Guy, Milk? He wasn't in Milk. What was he in?
Benny Benjamin.
Yeah.
Oh, whatever. Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah, he's your Matthew McConaughey. He's just charming and hot.
but also funny.
No, he's hilarious.
Yeah.
To me, yeah.
I think he is just, he's a bit like a Paul Rudd, but not as nice, if that makes sense.
Yeah, because he's
a bit edgier than a Paul Rudd.
because he's been too pretty for too long. Like Paul Rudd seems like he's a good-looking guy, yeah, but he's not like a pretty boy, is he?
No, he's definitely built his whole thing off being just a really solid, nice guy kind of thing.
No, I think he's a little bit indie hot.
Yeah, sure. Whereas James Marsden is hot.
Classically, hot. He's not quite.
Paul Rudd is the James Marsden of the indie world, and I love them both.
Yeah, I like.
Oh my god! I actually reminds me of a dream I had.
A joke. No,
this is a joke. It's a joke of my life, my love life. So it must have been around the time that I just downloaded Tinder a cool 2 weeks ago.
Tinder?
Not Tinder. Sorry. Hinge. I misspoke. We're not there yet, guys. And so I had this dream that was like, I don't know where we were or why Paul Rudd was there, but he was. And he basically was like, I think we were talking about American politics and like we were joking and having like this little repartee, and he was basically just like saying something about, well, you know, the people, like everybody voted this guy in or whatever.
Yeah.
And me being me, I just like, and I obviously thought that I was being really cute and sexy. I just whispered in and said, like in his ear, just like I'm not eligible to vote or something like that. Basically like, well, I can't vote here in like the States, so this isn't on me kind of thing.
Oh, okay.
And then I just smiled and walked away and thought that I was like so cool. But then he came running after me.
Hey,
and then
you know what these indie boys like.
And then he like got like a Sharpie and started writing on a poster something about like, I will never. And then I don't know where this came from. I don't know. He put something weird, but then, and well, not sexual, but then put his number. And I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. I was looking around at people being like, oh, God, you will never believe what, but like Paul Rudd and I just had this really cute repartee and he's literally run after me to give me his number. And then I was like, oh my fucking God, he's put his number here. Any old bitch could get this. And I'm like trying to cover it up. And then I woke up and was so happy then disappointed that I'm speaking to regular people. No shade to all the people that I'm speaking to. Or not all the people. There's barely anybody, but like that. Yes, the Paul Rudd or James Marsden. I'll take that too.
Look at your number 2, like it's an accessible option. Less so.
That's dead to me. Again, I feel like this is an honorable mention, not necessarily like one of the top shows, but I recently watched From Scratch on Netflix.
Why have I seen that?
Fucking God. So it's with Zoe Saldana. And
oh my God, the romance in Italy.
The romance in Italy, but Jesus, it is so sad. I cried buckets.
Just from the trailer, I said, I'm not watching this.
God.
It looks too emotional.
I wasn't prepared. I didn't watch the trailer. Or I watched a bit of it. I watched enough of the trailer to make me think, okay, I could buy into this, like, you're in Italy and, like, whatever. Jesus Christ, what a love story. It is so sad. It is so, so painful. And I cried so much. I don't think... It's been a while since I've had, apart from just, like, any random thing that sets me off. But, you know, since I've watched something I've had a real proper good cry.
Yeah.
Jesus. And it's also very lovely. This idea of meeting somebody in Italy and whatever, having this nice life. Although their life is not nice. It's full of hardships, yeah. But they have love, like like this kind of love that is just so unshakable.
Yeah.
So
I think that's why I wasn't in the mood for it. Like, I don't mind a romance. Fair. Like, I actually love a romance, but it just seemed too intense. Like, I was like, I'm not in the mood.
It is intense. So just, if you're going to watch it, buckle up. Okay, so in the fantasy realm, we're just going to, obviously House of the Dragon's up there. We're not going to talk about it. Stranger Things up there.
Stranger Things was great.
Fantastic, but we've spoken about it, and you know we loved it. What I'm watching at the moment, again, this shouldn't even be on the list, but I'll tell you because I'm watching it. Willow on Disney.
Is that good? Because I heard it was terrible.
So far, it's not great. But I'll keep watching it. I'm also like not watching it, if that makes sense. So it's like, why are you wasting your electricity? Either watch it and
where we are
through it, or don't. But the one that I really want to talk about, and I'm not sure, I think that I would put it in this category. It's not quite fantasy, it's more superhero. The Boys. Started watching it this year.
I haven't watched it.
I think it is phenomenal. I think you'll really like it. It's about superheroes and how flawed they are. The commercialization of superheroes and the monetization of them, and them being used as tools of propaganda and control.
We're looking at
and
you,
violence.
Captain America.
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess the main guy, I can't remember what he's called. Homecoming.
I know the one from the memes.
He's basically Captain America. Okay. Not really at all, because he's not like, he's horrible. But essentially he is.
Yeah.
So it's just a fantastic show, but fucking hell, it is so gory and so violent.
And very male dominated, right?
Yeah, probably, yeah. But there are
I thought there were no women in there.
Oh no, there are women. Yeah, there are women that have like lots of starring roles for sure.
My bad.
It's not like all heteronormative love.
I think I just saw The Boys and was like, no men.
I don't understand why it's called The Boys per se, because it's not. That makes it so reductive.
An ironic
it isn't
name,
just
I
about
guess.
that. Yeah, maybe. Yeah. So yeah, just watch that.
Okay.
Fantastic.
Another one I'm going to put on our list for next year. Don't worry, guys. Next year we might actually do good shows. Imagine.
Okay, then we've already mentioned these in the period drama category. Bridgerton and Dangerous Liaisons. I don't think we need to talk about them.
Bridgerton was great.
Obviously.
Dangerous Liaisons is a mess, but in the best possible way. I'm really looking forward to every week.
Yeah, it's nice. I mean, it's easy watching. And then in the category of general comedy,
Ooh.
I've put Abbott Elementary on.
Yes. Do you know why I didn't include it? Because we watched the first season this year, because obviously it came out on Disney. So it didn't register. But no,
yeah.
And I watched the first episode of the second season, and I was like, no, I have to wait. It's so delicious already.
Okay.
Loved it.
Yeah, looking forward to that.
Great.
It's just a good, easy watching show.
Yeah.
And I also really enjoy Ghosts on BBC.
I thought you were going to say like Ghosts on a Plane or something like that. I was like, oh god.
Ghosts on BBC. I think it's just very funny to me. So it's about this woman who inherits an old country manor, and so her and her partner are like, okay, why don't we like try and Airbnb it or turn it into a hotel or something, even though we have no experience of this.
Yeah.
But it's completely dilapidated, because I think basically they realize that they can't actually afford to buy anywhere a house themselves, but now she's inherited this house. Great, at least they have somewhere to live. And as part of doing the renovation works, she gets bopped on the head and then can suddenly see all the ghosts that live there.
I'd be so annoyed.
Yeah, because they can be annoying, but also hilarious. So it's just silly, funny nonsense. But I tell you, another reason I put it on the list is because oh my God, why is this? Sorry, my phone just started transcribing all of that. It was not worth it.
Let me take notes on this very important conversation.
I'm like looking down and it's words across the screen. Literally the ghosts. Oh no, don't say that, Natalie. You'll have nightmares. The BBC now have on Ghosts US, so they've, when the States just take a show and just reformat it, and it is nowhere near as good.
It isn't in the first 2 seasons because I'm talking about The Office.
Yeah, I guess it's a bit too literal.
Yeah, because it's just like, why am I watching a version of a show?
So maybe I'll keep watching it just to see if it gets any better. But
also, why do you need an American version? Like, imagine it's just watch the one that exists.
We've never done that the other way around, have we?
First of all, I don't include myself in the royal we when it comes to England. But I don't think that I can't think of a British show.
Does anywhere nationalised shows
I would genuinely understand if there was a language or a severe accent difference. But
they kind of are. And also I think that there are so many things that are like pop culture references that Americans won't get because England is actually quite small and America is quite vast, whereas American culture is a lot more pervasive in terms of the global stage. So
I don't know if this is actually true, but it feels like they're the biggest explorer of media in the world. So we all know that. Yeah. We don't know the country and the specific cultures as they really are, but we know the media version. Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess that's why other countries, like audiences in other countries, are used to watching the Americanized version or the standard American version of anything, but Americans can't.
It feels
necessarily compute.
Yeah, it feels
niche British humor. Anyway, and then I put What We Do in the Shadows on. I think that the fourth season came out
New York this year. City. I only know that from TikTok. That is always going to be one of my fave shows. I just think it's hilarious. Vampires, comedy. What am I not going to love about it? And in my reality TV, I only have one because I don't really watch a lot of reality TV, but it has to have a mention. What?
And it's Lizzo's Watch Out for the Big Girls because that show is brilliant.
Okay, fair. We have to do that next season.
Yeah. That show was so good, so uplifting, amazing, the complete opposite of all of the reality shows we grew up with where women are literally pitted against each other and made to feel like shit and made to change their appearance because Tyra knows best. Yeah.
Oh, God.
Lizzo does the complete opposite and it is an absolute joy.
Amazing.
Yeah. So what have I got in my things that need to be said?
Oh, should we introduce? Okay, you do it. Sorry.
No, we can. Oh, yeah. Should we introduce the category?
The concept. Yeah. The category is things that need to be said. Pose was last year, wasn't it?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. We'll never watch that again. How crazy is that?
For me, this category is not necessarily shows that were like, I don't want to say there were disappointments because that feels a bit harsh. Like, who am I to say that? Yeah. But there are just things that I
have to say
that didn't sit well with me.
Yeah.
Or, I expected more from them. And the first one I'm going to throw out there is Sandman.
Oh, you watched it?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't want to do too much because I think some of the people in the cast seem like lovable people and I don't want to shit on it. But it just, for me, I just couldn't. I'm sure I'll watch it eventually in the background. I just couldn't be asked. Also, you and Sim were both individually telling me it's the worst show you've ever seen.
Well, there you go. So it's not just me. It just left a lot to be desired for me. I thought, there you go. I also had this show on, and I think I only got to like 1 or 2 episodes.
Which
for this I watched, it was in that empty space left behind by Stranger Things, where I thought I fancied a group of ragtag youngsters that were fighting the world, and it was maybe something spooky or scary or a bit out of the ordinary. So I saw this thing on Amazon Prime called Paper Girls. It was awful. Couldn't get through the first episode. I think it's about like time travel or like these girls, and I just really didn't get it.
Yeah.
To the point where I didn't even give it the chance. You know, a lot of the time you'll say, I don't really get it, but I'm going to give you at least an episode or two. Didn't even get into it. So it's almost not worth bringing up right now, but I guess I just have to say for something, it takes a lot for me to not get through a show.
It has to be particularly bad.
Yeah, just the storyline was a bit all over the place.
Yeah.
And then my final one is Conversations with Friends. And this isn't because it was
What
bad
is
or
that?
anything. It's an adaptation of a Sally Rooney book.
Okay.
It was just nowhere near as good as Normal People. And it also was very true to how the book is written. So hear me out. That should be seen as a good thing, right? But when it's played out on the big screen, it just emphasizes how awkward and kind of a bit annoying and fucked up the characters are in a way where you're just like, oh. Or there's just a lot of the way that it's acted and spoken. I feel like it's very real as to how things actually would happen in real life, which sometimes makes it a bit stunted isn't the right word, but a bit, it isn't done to be like fantastical or theatrical. Like the dialogue is just very
plain, but not funny.
Yeah. Well, it's not meant to be funny. It's meant to be like very, real things that just about real life and messy people and messy relationships.
I already have all of that. I don't want to watch that. Entertain me, goddamn.
Yeah. And in some ways it maybe takes itself
too seriously.
A bit seriously. But then I think actually that's Sally Rooney.
Oh.
A full stop.
Oh.
And I say that as a fan. Yeah. So that's it. That's for me. What's on your things that need to be said?
I remembered a show that I didn't mention and I felt bad about while you were talking, and I once again have forgotten it. There's definitely a show that was really good that I've missed for 2020. I'm so sorry to that show.
Yeah.
I hope we remember.
In our defense, it's probably because we thought it came out the previous year or something.
Yeah, I think it is actually a show that came out the previous year, but I watched it this year. I can't remember. Sorry to that show.
I did watch this year. I binged at the beginning of the year. I think it was Snowpiercer.
Okay, that looks really good.
It is very good, I have to say. No, it's so gripping. Like you will get hooked. It's very binge worthy, but it's also kind of a bit ridiculous.
Okay.
I mean, stellar cast.
That's never a good sign to me.
What? That it's ridiculous.
No, like stellar cast.
Okay, true. But the concept is just real wacky. But then also, it makes you think, fucking hell, this could genuinely happen. What the fuck would I do? So the idea is that the world has like completely frozen over, and the only people that exist in the entire world all live on the same fucking train that just continuously goes round in circuits around the earth. But the earth is also all frozen over. So and you never know when you're doing a rotation if there's going to be a point in the track that's just going to be totally fucked up. But if the train stops, it's so cold outside that you will freeze inside. But the train is separated, as is the case always, into all the different classes. So you've got some people living in like this absolute opulence, and then you've got your middle class, and then you like
is there a revolution on the train?
Absolutely, that is the essentially the premise.
So instead of snakes on the plane, they did revolution on a train.
Exactly.
I like it.
But you can't. It's the idea, like, in another situation, there is at least some form of escape because you could get to a different place on the world. But if you're on the same train, again, you cannot leave the train. That would just be a nightmare.
Yeah. If you're looking for a show about futuristic revolution, is it called 3%?
I think I know what you mean, but
Brazilian
I
show.
haven't. Yeah.
It's honestly, I was actually surprised how good it was. Just because I felt like if it's that good, I thought there'd be more hype.
About it.
But yeah, it's a really good show. Well, I think I watched that last year.
Mm.
Okay, so now on to my and another thing list, which we're calling things that need to be said. Okay, so I watched a film called Turned, and it was like, okay, I have to say, across genres, across cultures, across the world, Amazon Prime will pick up anything.
Yeah.
They have some of the most obscure films I've ever seen and not watched. Oh, honorable mention, Godfather of Harlem, which is on Amazon Prime, but we've briefly discussed that before. I wouldn't say it was the best of the year, but yeah, the depiction of Malcolm X, I really, really enjoyed. And I don't know her name, but the actress that plays Bunky Johnson's daughter, basically the two lead actresses in the show are phenomenal. And I love a strong female lead.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, Turned is awful. It's just a terrible film. The thing is, I can't be bothered to get into what it's about because it doesn't matter. I just wanted to mention how bad it was. And I wonder if anybody out there has seen it, because Jonathan made us finish it because he was funny. It's so funny. And I was like, this isn't even funny. This is just bad. It was an independent film. And I'm sure the lead actor, I've seen him in good things. He played, I'm pretty sure he played, was that even him? Let me not say that.
Let me just do a quick Google just so that I have a visual. Turned.
Yeah, it's like aspiring musician.
2020, Jesus.
They did a sequel as well. Yeah, Jamal
Super Turned.
Woolard, the dumbest name for a sequel. It's just bad. It's oh my god, yeah. Yes, it's him. He played Biggie Smalls in that terrible biopic. I hated that film.
The IMDb.
Notorious.
Wow, it got 3.2 out of 10 on IMDb.
The people who scored highly were friends. That film should have like a 0. It also stars randomly Tori Hart, who I thought was that's I know I hate to link a woman to her baby father, but everybody knows that's Kevin Hart's ex-wife. They were married for years and years and years. And it's like, I knew she was an aspiring actress and she's trying to do different things, but I was like, you are too good for this film. But also glad you're here because it's making it funnier. The film is bad. The sex scenes are horrible.
Oh, no.
Horrible.
Okay, what else?
Too much. Okay, this might be controversial. Okay, let's stick to this first. Okay, The Crown season 5. So I've never watched The Crown before. I watched an episode of season 4 with my cousin. And then I was just like, I want to watch season 5. I'm not going to sit here and sit around and wait for you to watch it. I know I want to watch it. I want to see Lady Di in action. And yeah, it's just like I've always thought about that show. The reason I've never watched it is because it is at some level, you've got to admit, it's propaganda. Yeah. Anything that humanizes people, it's too soon because it's too soon for it not to be propaganda. But then the way I viewed it was just like, I feel like it's quite fair on Charles. Like it's quite like a season 5, season 4 less so, because from what I saw, but it kind of makes Diana seem a bit frivolous, and like I just don't like the emphasis on like she's unstable. I feel like it alludes to her being a bad mother, which is all fine if you're going to show the man in the same light, but it's just like he doesn't need to be a good father. His children are just like around him, but he doesn't need to be a good father. So it's just, I just feel like it's propaganda. But then when I'm on Twitter and the American dialogue, they're watching it like, maybe because I forget it's like what happened is crazy. Like, so if you've never really heard the story, they're watching it like, this guy's an arsehole. Like, I think it makes him look like a fucking hero. It's so ridiculous. It's like if I wrote a story about my life and it's like, and I was like, I know the royal family have nothing to do with it. It's just so funny. It's like he meets Tony Blair and Tony Blair's just like has something so good to say about him. And it's just like, please be serious. There's a show, it's an anime show called Bastard, heavy metal dark fantasy. It's just soft porn. It's so funny because the girls on I say the girls, it's in the girlies, they're like, this show, and then I watched it, I was like, you guys are so horny, please be serious. My only problem with it is The Dark Schneider, who I'm not gonna lie is hot. It's so misogynistic. The women are like literally falling in love with him, and it's so funny. I don't watch the Japanese language. I watch the English dub because it's like American. He's like, I think I'm falling for him. He's so strong and perfect. It's just like, oh my God, get a grip. Again, it's like, I'm going to write a show about how sexy I am. Every time I look at Ruth, I just instantly fall in love. Like, it sounds like a child writing like a story about, and then all the girls like me because I'm hot. But yeah, it's so ridiculous. The only thing I really don't like is that he turns back into a kid called Lucian. And I'm just like, okay, that bit's kind of, it's just like, after all, I'm just like, Lee, can we just drop the Lucian kid? Anyway, so controversial for some, because I did very much enjoy it, but that's not why it's on the list. Unorthodox.
Oh, Unorthodox Life?
No, not the reality TV show, which I'll definitely watch. Unorthodox is a film, was released to critical acclaim, based on a book about a woman who grew up in a very strict Orthodox community in a Jewish Orthodox community in New York. My problem with the show is they have a pretty flipping over the top second half, right? And I'm going with it because it's based on a book. Only to get to the end crying. I'm like, oh, they just made up the second part. None of the second part is, I'm like, you need to see it because it's like, it's too ridiculous for them to have made that bit up. Like she's going to music school. Why? What? It's so specific. It's not true at all. It's like reading a book about like a very serious subject, being like, it's a bit drab. How about at the end she becomes a ballerina?
Let's give it some sparkle. Let's razzle dazzle them.
And I just thought it was so dumb. It was just so dumb. Oh my God. Okay. And obviously 90210, because why the hell did I rewatch it?
Yeah. You started it, you were in it, you made the commitment and you had to follow it through. There was no other way that could have played out. Yeah,
and I needed to know what happened to Dixon and Annie. So sue me. Yeah, and then I will say, and then obviously Dharma. I know I shouldn't watch
did you watch
but I
was
in Nigeria. I didn't know what was going on. I came back. I was like, I was bored. I was like, let me just watch the show. I watched the whole thing, but the first episode was disturbing, but in a way that it was scary, realistic. The man who played the first victim, who we see, was phenomenal. It was so real. I hated it. I was terrified. Then you get halfway and it's just like they're trying to like just again jazz it up.
Yeah.
Making this guy like likeable,
we're trying to humanize him,
not more than humanize, trying to like make it like a Dexter style show. And it's just like, guys, you can't do this in this case. And then trying to like save face by showing how terrifying he was to his neighbor. But it's like you've taken it too far with him for this now to make sense.
Yeah. And also not really consulting the other parties that
but that's because they can't. That's because they can't, because they wouldn't have been able to make it. And everyone was saying that, you know, everyone knows about the story. I've honestly, sorry to be ignorant, I've never heard about the story ever.
I know about it, but I never knew a lot of the details.
The extent, no, it was bad.
I just knew that he preyed on young gay men.
Mostly like black and I was basically anyone who was not white.
Yeah.
But yeah, it really lost its way. It needed a lot. Like it was almost like 3 different shows. It just didn't make sense. Parts of it made sense.
I won't be watching it. It will not make my 2023 list or my 2022 Christmas watching list.
Yeah, it's just no point. They really needed to pick a direction and stick with it, because I can tell, like, especially when you see like Niecy Nash plays the neighbor with her daughter, what they were doing is almost independent to what they did in the middle. It's not adding up. Archer had a new season. I love Archer. I will watch 50 seasons of Archer. They better never cancel that show. But it was the first season that I think since Mallory died. So I'm sorry. I feel like I should pull up her name to be respectful. But the woman who voices Archer's mother, she's like pretty fucking famous. Sorry, guys, I don't know anything. She was the mom in
Arrested. No, not.
Yeah.
In Arrested Development, the grandma.
Yeah.
Lucy. What? She's called Lucy. Yeah. Jessica somebody.
Jessica Walter, yeah. She was amazing. It's the first season without her, and to be honest, you did feel her presence was gone. It wasn't bad, but it just wasn't as good as it usually is. There was some funny moments, but it's usually funnier. And I prefer when they do a concept season anyway. Those concept seasons are amazing. But yeah, like I said, I could watch 50 seasons of Archer, so it's fine. And yeah, my final thing on the list, this is the one that's controversial, is actually the final season of Peaky Blinders. I'm not saying it was bad. I'm not.
I haven't watched it yet. I think I'm still in like season 3 or something.
It has very good moments, but I think also it's not the show's fault. At the time when I was like in the middle of it, I was at my sister's and stuff. I feel like I wasn't I was at my sister's for a few days. I can't remember why I was there, but it wasn't.
You can't like fully commit. You're watching something with the volume down or not, like.
Yes, yeah, it was that. It was like getting late, so I had to turn the volume down a lot.
Yeah,
watch it with subtitles, so I don't want to shit on it. But there was one episode, one scene, which I do genuinely think was bad, and I should have. I was like, but it comes down to a character that everyone loves but me, where I'm just like, yeah, it was up and down for me, but overall still it was a great show. And obviously the actress who played Polly had passed away, and she was my favorite character by far. Her presence was me. But
Helen McCriven, I want to say,
I believe so, but it was more but they honored her, like but that wasn't the reason. Yeah, rest in peace to her. But it's more that I just felt like it wasn't 100% congruent. But take my opinion with a pinch of salt, because you've just heard how I watched a few episodes of it. So yeah. But overall, nothing can take away from that show. I feel like there's a character they tried to make a bigger part, and it just wasn't giving. Like, if you're going to give someone a bigger part, then, honey, what are you actually doing? Anyway. Yeah, and that's all I have to say.
That's TV in a nutshell, guys.
Yeah. I watched Love Island as well. That was my only reality TV. I can't remember. I don't think I really watched reality TV. I think I just rewatched a few things. That's a lie. I watched Married at First Sight.
Okay.
Through a TikTok account that was reviewing episodes. And I had the time of my life. If they had her doing the voiceovers on the episodes, I'd watch it.
I've only ever watched one season of that, the first ever one that they did in the UK.
Yeah.
It was a mess.
That looked boring. Oh, my bad.
It was quite boring, but it was more just like, I felt there was the couple that you thought were going to actually make it, didn't.
Yeah.
And the couple that everyone was like, no, this won't work. And who were also like, no, we don't really like each other. They actually were like, yeah, well, we're giving this a go. The other people were like, yeah, we really like each other. They hit it off straight away, had loads in common. But then after they got married, the guy was just not actually making a proper effort to commit to the marriage of the woman that he met on his wedding day. So she was really trying and trying to carve out time and suggest like going on date nights or whatever. And he would just be out all hours with his mates, not message her back, not tell her where he was, come back at like 4 a.m.
That is hilarious. Sorry to find that funny. That is funny.
Yeah.
I also just want to say, guys, watch Peaky Blinders. It's an amazing show. And I feel almost bad because it's just like, it's such a good show that now I feel like I've given it a bad review and I haven't. Take it. You can't take it.
It was a good review.
I love the show. Okay. Also, if you're into melodramas, my melodrama list is obviously, do you remember that show Harlem on Amazon Prime?
Yeah. Yeah.
I wouldn't say it was the best, but I'll watch it again when it comes out. I feel like a show like that, they need to churn it out faster.
Yeah. Agreed.
Churn it out and longer season.
You need to keep me.
Yeah, just keep it coming.
There was quite a similar one called Run the World.
I haven't seen Run the World, but I know it's a fan fave. I've seen from that genre.
Yeah.
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 Also, what was the other one we watched recently? Reasonable Doubt.
Oh my God. That was another show where I put it on and I just wasn't actually watching it. So I'm halfway through the season on Disney Plus. I don't think I'll go back to it because I actually don't think I could.
You don't need to. Like, honestly, I was like in the kitchen coming out. It's not in the same vein. It's what did they call it on Twitter? It's a white shirt and pointy shoe show.
Yeah.
And it is.
But it also thinks it wants to be like, I feel like it thinks it wants to be a bit of a scandal and a bit of
it definitely does, but it is one of those shows.
But it's not.
But it's just
on the
Scandal
same level.
Yeah, but Scandal was a melodrama. It's just one that we happen to
was.
love. But yeah, it's very silly and I enjoyed it. But people were reviewing it like it was like a really serious show. And so when I watched it, I was like,
come on,
this
guys.
is a melodrama. But I still enjoyed. So I'm not going to tell you not to watch it, but it's not going to be on the best stuff.
I think there are a lot of you out there that don't need to watch it. You won't get anything out of it. But then there are a lot of you that will. That, as an easy watcher, that just to shove something on the background that's a bit silly, a bit ridiculous, a bit sensational.
A bit.
Yeah. If you want something highbrow, if you're one of those viewers, please skip. Please find something else.
Oh my God.
Oh God, what's you?
Sorry.
You broke your phone.
Accidentally. Emergency thing. I don't even know. I'm just like, I use it like a fidget spinner. I forget it's a phone. But yeah, guys, watch Wendell and World. But that's our list. I hope you 2022
or 2022 in a nutshell.
We've obviously forgotten so many shows.
Absolutely. But the good news is you can listen back to them in the back catalogue of episodes from this year and previous.
This was just to give us a chance to talk about shows that are good that we haven't done episodes on, because it seems unfair that we spend so much time talking about silly things. Speaking of silly things, I don't know if you're aware of a channel called Christmas 24.
I'm not.
It's a Sky channel that only shows Christmas films, like Hallmark style Christmas films. It pops up at Christmas.
Okay.
There's a few music channels like that as well. They just pop up at Christmas. This channel, tell me why I started watching a film last night, and I'm going to go and finish it after we record. Oh no, I have to finish something else. Look at me, I'm so disappointed.
I can't spend hours watching a shit Christmas movie. No.
I'm going to do it. It's got the guy who played Teddy from 90210, The Resurgent.
Wait, what? There was a Resurgent? Oh, sorry, our version, the millennial version.
I'm not claiming it. Teddy
you rewatched it.
I have never heard of that show. Teddy was the guy who I sent you a picture of saying, like, he's supposed to be 16 and he looks 30, and he is. He's in...
I'm sorry. I just had to take a gulp of water, but it actually hurt going down because I was laughing. 16. He was not 16 in the show.
So old. He was supposed to be like a up and coming high school tennis player. So he had his
in 90210.
Yeah.
Or in the show.
No, in this show he's a so the show it's about these shows are always like some weird, like slightly alt-right propaganda. So
family values.
Yes.
Christian family value.
Navy family.
Patriotic family values.
War isn't so bad.
It ain't war, it's defending our country, defending our land and freedom.
It's not easy being a Navy brat. That's the idea.
Okay.
So it's about a daughter she's not the main character. The main character is a journalist who is going to fall in love with her deceased father's friend lifelong friend. They went to Navy school or whatever it's called together, and they were both whatever officers or whatever. Yeah, his son. But her sister is now in the Navy. That's why she's on the ship, because they all had to go on the ship as a cruise at Christmas. But she's like, I could never fall in love with a Navy man. And then she sees Teddy and she's like, you know what?
Couldn't I? Yeah.
But Teddy hates Christmas so much that on his fighter jet, they call him the Grinch.
What business do you have being on a fighter jet? You're in the Navy. You get on a submarine.
You're right. What's the thing they do in Top Gun?
I mean,
what is
I don't know. Air Force?
I know they're in the Air Force, but then why are they on this huge Navy ship?
Because
it's all the same shit. I don't know, guys.
No, what
I'm not paying attention.
Because they're not called aircraft. Or are they called aircraft carriers?
Yeah,
yeah.
But it's like underneath is like it's like a huge what do you call it?
Submarine
base. It's almost like a base. Yeah. But sorry, guys, wrong thing. They're not in the Navy.
Bimbos do military.
It's not the Navy. It's the plane one.
No, they're like. There's a really big floating thing in the sea that
where the people live underground.
All of the aeroplanes are going in, but they're not like aeroplanes that we take to go to Ibiza.
They're like
I wish I was
cute
going to
green
Ibiza.
Ones. Honestly, mark my words,
really
guys.
Pointy.
Mark my words. Next year, we are doing a summer episode live from Ibiza. I swear to Christ.
Manifesting it. We are
not manifesting it, taking it by force. Yeah.
We will have TikToks from Pasha. Sorry.
What's your favorite TV show?
Oh my God,
I can't wait. We'll have a pink
microphone.
Yeah. Why are we like this?
And when we say taken live from Pasha, we mean there'll be a backdrop, a green screen backdrop on TikTok of the club, and we will reenact the various people that we think we would meet along the way. Yeah,
that
if you think we aren't going to skip this. And it's not because we won't be in Ibiza and we have to fake it.
No, I swear, I've had 3 bad years. I've had enough. I can't say this is a bad year, though. And I know this isn't the review of the year, just because, and I can't say last year was a bad year, because last year my niece was born and this year my godson was born. So. So, good things have happened. But also, it's been a real heavy life year this year, Yeah. But more on that in 2 weeks. Next week is the best episode of the year, guys.
Oh, are we doing Falling for Christmas?
Yes, although I did watch the Christmas film that is actually getting all the rave reviews this year.
Is that the one with Freddie Prinze Jr.? Sorry. Okay, what's yours? I've not watched any of them yet.
His name starts with an A, something Enoch. He was in How to Get Away with Murder.
Alfred Enoch.
Yeah.
AKA Dean Thomas from Harry Potter.
Yes. And sorry to do it to you, but she was in the second version of Skins.
Kaya Scolario? No?
I don't know.
It's the only one I can remember that's in the second version of Skins.
She was the main character with brown hair.
Yeah, Kaya. Yeah.
Oh, I thought she had a name like Annabelle Johnson or something.
Let me just check. Wasn't she also in the first? She's the sister of somebody in the first.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how you pronounce this name. Scodelario.
Yeah, she's Italian.
Yeah. Well, she's an English actress. I don't know what. Let's see. Her mother. Let's see. Your mother. She was Brazilian. Yes.
Brazilian. I thought that name was Italian. So you guys should just see how ignorant I am to the ways of the world. But yeah,
Okay.
they're the main two characters. It's a rom-com. It will make you want to be nice to people. It's not great, but it's not bad either. Do you know what I mean?
Wait,
it's
and
nice.
this is the one that's been touted as the Christmas movie
Of the year, yeah.
of the year. Okay.
There's like the fact that the only other options are Lindsay Lohan and Freddie Prinze Jr. Sorry, no shade.
Also, Asa Butterworth, who is what's his name from Sex Education. He's got one out on Amazon Prime.
Oh, yes.
Your
I'm gonna watch
Christmas
that.
or mine.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch that.
Yeah.
So next week might just be, we'll concentrate on the Lindsay
miscellaneous
Lohan
Christmas fit movies.
This year's Christmas rom-com.
It'll be this episode, but for Christmas movies.
Yeah. Also, there was a I don't know if you remember, but they had adverts in the cinema last year for a Christmas rom-com, and the lead actors were all black, and it was like a British rom-com, but it starred the actress who plays Michaela in How to Get Away with Murder. He was the American woman in it. But why isn't it out on television? What happened to that film? I want to watch it. The only thing I wasn't too keen about.
Can you remember what it's called?
No,
we don't know anything. Yeah.
Because obviously Michaela, IMDb.
Yeah.
Michaela, How to Get Away. Michaela Pratt is played by Arja Naomi King. Is it Aya or Arja?
I don't know. We would have to.
I thought her name was Naomi King. Anyway, let's see. I just always think it's so funny that people listen to us do this.
Do they?
They're like, we don't.
Yeah.
When you start doing this shit, we are like, okay, it's another bad episode.
But we think that this is actually where the quality is, guys.
Yeah,
So,
this is where it gets juicy because we never know what's going to happen.
apart from when we got,
Oh my God, she's been in
can
2
never
Christmas
say
films.
goodbye.
Okay,
Like
it's called
Teenage
Boxing
Girls.
Day. Oh my God, absolutely.
Okay, yes.
That's not a good film name.
Not least of all because it's after Christmas.
Where to watch? Why isn't it out? You have to pay for it.
Oh, of course you do.
Oh, I've been waiting for that film to come out.
For a whole year.
Honestly, because I knew I wouldn't get to go to the cinema to watch it.
Is it going to be like a
She's
a Valentine's Day, but she's not even in it?
I said she's in 2 Christmas films because the other one was called The 24th. The 24th is not a Christmas film. It's like a war film. It's the story of the all-black 24th United States Infantry Regiment and the Houston riot of 1917. I'm like, the 24th Christmas Eve.
24th December.
Because everything is about Christmas. No, it's not.
No.
Guys.
I mean, in many ways, you could equate them. There's always a family argument at Christmas, which,
leads to what? Oh, God forbid! I'm all argued out. It's not looking good on my side. I don't know how it's looking on yours.
Well, I
Natalie,
will be. There's a limited amount of time that I'm spending with my family, so.
I decided 2 days ago that I do want to do what we were supposed to originally do for Christmas. There is literally not a coach in sight. Basically, if I was to travel to London, I could not come back until the 28th. It's just no way to get back. There are no nothing. There's nothing.
Which is, I mean, I guess understandable. People, rail workers get treated like shit. But
no, I'm not against the strike. I mean, I am pro-strike. Okay.
Yeah. But it does mean that,
Yeah. It's just, the realities. It's weird. It's like you're kind of in denial a little bit, but it's like the constant realities of like what the cost of living crisis and like the social services crisis look like right now in the UK.
Yeah.
We're going to have no paramedics, guys. The paramedics are going on strike.
Sign up to go work down the mine.
I don't think they'll take me. I feel like... Have you seen Zoolander, where his like family worked out the mines and he doesn't fit in? I feel like that would be me.
Oh no.
I'd be like, fucking hell, not this one again. This isn't how we do things down the mines. Also, that film is probably a bit, you know,
Yeah.
classist, darling. This is how mine workers are. They are determined, have no culture. Okay. Actually, I would know because I'm the writer of Zoolander, and my father was a miner, based on my real life. Oh
This
gosh.
is let's get out of this rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Guys, thank you.
I do have one thing to say before we go. Okay, so I think this is controversial. HBO Max are taking shows off streaming services, as in they're deleting them. So they're not just cancelling the show, they're removing
scrubbing
it.
them from existence. Just give it to somebody else.
No, so
Or
they
put it in
don't
the
have
back
to
catalogue.
pay.
Bring you the like royalties.
Yeah. So
Rude.
Westworld, they're taking the whole of Westworld.
Oh fuck! I really need to catch up on it.
I know. I'm like, can I watch it? And then the film called not the film, the TV show called. I wrote it down because it's on my like to watch list. What's it called? It was on the BBC as well. Love something. Is it still here? Love Life.
Is that?
I haven't seen it yet, but I wanted to watch it
with Anna Kendrick in the first episode. First season,
watch it quick because it's about to get deleted from the face of the earth. I can't believe you can even do that.
Rude.
It's so ridiculous. I can't believe they're going to delete Westworld.
Yeah, I felt like that was big enough for.
That was such a big show. You can't just delete it. But yeah, it's going to be gone. I just think that's so crazy that you can just do that. Yeah. Yeah, that's all I had to say.
Cool. Well, I guess we know what we'll be doing for the next week. Christmas movies in Westworld.
Yeah.
And on that note.
Be asked, but yeah.
See you later.
Guys.
Bye.
Hold the fuck up. Rewind the tape.